Now let's head out there to Greenfield, where events are planned for today to mark the anniversary of that destructive tornado. Local 5's Dana Searles leading our coverage of the community's recovery and the next steps forward that they're taking. I know it's been a very busy day out there, Dana.
Well, Joseph, today the word is going to be community. Today is really a day to show the power of community and reflect on the past year since that destructive tornado just tore through this town. So what better way to talk about community? Joining me now is Stacie Eshelman with the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining us today. So there's a long list of events going on today. Tell me just kind of what the day is going to look like here.
Yeah, so we started off with a breakfast this morning at the Catholic Church. They served a lot of meals the following months after the tornado. The Methodist Church is doing a lunch. We have a prayer service by our ministerial association, so all of the churches are represented. They're going to do just a short service for people. We'll have a minute of ringing of the bells. So the gathering place is now a community center, but it was a former church, and they still have the bell. And so they'll ring that. The tornado took only a minute to go through town and cause that devastation. So we'll do that and then have a couple minutes of silence just to honor what was lost, the people that were lost, and what we've been through this past year.
What do you want to tell people about just how powerful today is going to be and what today means to the Greenfield community?
Yeah, so this evening we're doing a free supper here in the courtyard, and then we're going to recognize some of our substantial partners. The list is so long, and there's so many unsung heroes that we can't recognize everybody, or we would be here for days. I mean, the overwhelming support we felt from areas around us was great, and community does mean so much to us, and I know that you feel that when you come here. We all know each other, we support each other, and we do our best. It's hard in this situation, like times are hard right now, and even a year later, we're all feeling it today more than ever, but it definitely hasn't lightened much for us.
Absolutely. Well, Stacie, thank you so much for just giving us an insight into today. We'll be out here all day covering this, but thank you so much. You can really feel it here whenever we come into the community. So thank you for welcoming us and having us here. Okay, so like Stacie mentioned, the day started off with a lovely breakfast at St. The church was a major hub for resources and people after the tornado hit, where supplies and shelters was available for those impacted. People came from all over to lend a hand, and that really was the ground zero for support. So this morning, it's a place for anybody to come and support one another, and church leaders say they had a line for breakfast waiting just after 6 o'clock this morning, and one member of the church reflected on the past year and what this day means to them.
They walk in the door and they see a familiar face that they saw a year ago, that might have been just the first thing they saw that wasn't scary or wasn't sad, and we gave them a place kind of refuge here. And I think coming back today has been hard for some. Walking in those doors, if they don't come here to this church, it's a little bit triggering at the same time, but knowing that we're on the other side of those doors has, I think, made people feel a little bit more welcomed.
And like we mentioned, this is just the beginning of today's events, and the turnout already goes to show the power of community. We've been talking about it all morning long, making community leaders excited about the day to come. Now, it has been a long road to get here, and there are endless stories that we can share. But one we want to share, Local 5 caught up with a Greenfield resident who has lived here all of her life. Her home was on 2nd Street, which she lived in for 47 years. It was along the tornado's initial path through the city. And hiding in the basement with her daughter Robin, there was a little left of it when we ended up meeting them less than 24 hours after that tornado hit. But still, positivity and hope for the future have carried them along this long road of rebuilding. Also, some humor too.
Maybe it was God's way of telling me to slow down, because I'm not one to sit around. But it's just hard starting over when you're 81 years old.
He retired. Now, Edith moved into her new home earlier this year. Her biggest blessing, she found many of the family's cherished keepsakes and mementos collected all over several decades, or found exact replicas on eBay. Absolutely love that story right there. Now, the rebuilding efforts across the town have truly been incredible. From members of the community to volunteers, everyone has helped out. It's truly an all hands on deck. And just last week, Greater Des Moines Habitat for Humanity built 2 houses for families who lost their homes in the tornado 1 year ago. Local 5 talked with Mina Tootle, who remembers the chaos of that day when she and her family lost their entire home. 1 year later, they found out they're getting a new one built for them.
Oh my gosh, they're doing stuff where our house is supposed to be, and it was just the foundation. So every day after that, we've been coming by and like walking around, peeking and just looking.
Now, Greater Des Moines Habitat volunteers and sponsors spent the week working on this home and another one, building everything from the foundations all the way up to the roof. Now, for stories of resilience and how the Greenfield community is now moving forward, we have a full half-hour special for free on We Are Iowa Plus, Greenfield-strong. 1 year later, you can download that right on your TV and start watching for free. Now, later in the newscast, we'll hear from staff from the town's only hospital that was also impacted by the tornado and how long it took to get here and their road to recovery to getting to this 1 year later moment. But for now, we'll send it back to you, Joseph.